Ryuzo Yanagimachi, was known by colleagues as Dr. Yana, is an internationally renowned fertility researcher whose development of the Honolulu Technique to create the world's first cloned mouse brought international acclaim to the University of Hawaiʻi at Mānoa. Yanagimachi was born in Ebitsu and raised in Sapporo, Japan. He received a bachelor's degree in zoology in 1952 and a doctorate in animal embryology in 1960 from Hokkaido University. He then taught high school and junior college for 2 years because he could not find a research position. Yanagimachi applied for a postdoctoral position with Dr. M.C. Chang of the Worcester Foundation for Experimental Biology in Shrewsbury, Massachusetts. Dr. Chang had previously succeeded in fertilizing rabbit eggs in vitro, placing the egg and sperm in a petri dish and letting nature take its course. In Chang's lab, Yana discovered how to similarly fertilize hamster eggs in vitro. After his postdoctoral position ended in 1964, Yana returned to Japan. But before returning, he met Dr. Robert Noyes of Tennessee's Vanderbilt University, who suggested that Yana visit Dr. Windsor Cutting of the University of Hawaiʻi on his way back to Japan. Yana did stop in Hawaiʻi, but instead of looking up Dr. Cutting, he went to the beach, mesmerized by Hawaiʻi's beauty. Fortunately, Dr. Noyes followed up.
Dr. Noyes sent me a letter, no email, He said, I'm going to move to Hawaii to join a new medical school. Are you interested? Join me? Yes. And I came here in 1966 as an assistant professor of Department of Anatomy and Reproductive Biology.
Yana has been called a pioneer of in vitro fertilization, the technique British scientists Edwards and Steptoe first used 40 years ago to help an infertile woman have the first IVF baby. But there was more to come. Here in Hawaii, using this microscope, Yana had an idea that would change in vitro fertilization forever. Instead of waiting for the sperm to swim to the egg,
I inject the sperm directly into egg to see what happens. And no one had done before. Now at that time, people used to laugh at me. Why you inject the sperm into egg? Because sperm won't enter egg anyway. Why you inject? So people laugh at me. But 20 years later, MD medical doctor found that this can be used for a cure of some type of infertility.
So Yana thought, okay, so let's put the sperm in a needle and push it into the egg. Let's bypass all the fertilization. And this is called intracytoplasmic sperm injection, or ICSI. And this is one of the most common techniques that's now used to have babies.
People like Christy Liedholm of Honolulu.
After a few years of trying, we weren't having any luck getting pregnant, and all of our friends around us at the time were already having kids, and we thought, what is going on with us? So I finally went to my OBGYN and talked to him, and he ran a few tests on Craig and I, and nothing was really wrong. So he decided that we could try some artificial insemination, and we did that 3 times and had no luck with that either. So finally the doctor said, let's go in and let's do a laparoscopy and see what's going on inside. But then found out that one of my fallopian tubes was so scarred, it was completely scarred shut. So he said that we could keep trying naturally to get pregnant, but chances are it could take years, and I was already getting older, and we really wanted to start a family. So he said there's one option that you can consider, and that is in vitro fertilization. So at the time I knew a little bit about it because I remember hearing about the first test tube baby, and I remember hearing, such great success about it. And then at that time, another friend of mine was having a similar issue, and she had just started the process of in vitro. Decided we wanted to go forward. We figured that was our only chance of having kids naturally to get pregnant. So decided to move forward, started the protocol, and after one procedure, we were lucky, we were pregnant. And not only were we pregnant, but we were pregnant with twins. And so on September 25th, 2001, Matthew and Christian were born. And they came earlier than we thought, but they were in the NICU for 3 weeks, breathing on their own completely. So After 3 weeks, they sent them home, and it happened to be on my birthday. So that was another blessing. And so now my boys are going to be 17 next month. They are juniors in high school, and we are so proud of them.
So Yana is credited with doing the basic biology that allowed millions of babies to be born through artificial insemination, through in vitro fertilization and ICSI. So worldwide, these techniques are used.
Having improved in vitro fertilization through ICSI, Yana's team stunned reproductive scientists once again in 1997 by cloning Kumulina, a female mouse that lived to the ripe old mouse age of 2.5 years. To create her, the nucleus of a cell from an adult mouse was injected through a tiny needle into an egg donated by a second adult mouse, with the egg's original genetic package, nucleus, having been removed. The donor nucleus came from cumulus cells, which surround the developing eggs in the ovaries of female mice. That gave Kumulina her name. By creating her and more than 50 carbon copy mice, Yana demonstrated what was believed to be a more reliable cloning technique than the one that had been used to create Dolly the sheep, the world's first cloned animal. Naturally, given his love for Hawaii, Yana named his mouse cloning technique the Honolulu Technique. In 2000, Dr. Yanagimachi founded the Institute for Biogenesis Research, or IBR, part of the John A. Burns School of Medicine, or JABSOM. One of his co-workers believes his breakthroughs in reproductive biology helped save the medical school.
About 25 years ago, there was thought of closing the law school and closing the medical school because they couldn't afford it.
So that's when Yana's cloning hit and everybody realized what he was, and they said, no, we can't really stop this because of this. And it went actually the other way. So Ed Cadman was hired as a dean, Cayetano was the governor at the time, they built Kakaʻako, and all of this was built on the momentum that Yana's cloning brought to Hawaii, that Hawaii can do world-class things.
Yana was inducted into the prestigious National Academy of Science in 2001 and the National Institute of Child Health and Human Development's Hall of Honor in 2003, which recognizes scientists for exceptional contributions to the advancement of knowledge and improvement of maternal and child health. In 1996, he was given the International Prize for Biology, which is awarded in the presence of the Emperor of Japan. In 2010, when Britain's Dr. Robert Edwards won the Nobel Prize for his in vitro fertilization work in humans, Yana was delighted for Edwards. But Yana's colleagues believe his own work contributed significantly to the science.
A lot of other people won the Nobel Prize and they got credit for this, but you speak to them and they tell you Yanagimachi is the man.
At 90, Yana continues to work for his beloved Institute for Biogenesis Research, even though he formally retired in 2005. He remains curious and full of wonder about nature as ever before.
We can learn medicine and keep learning. And I'm physically maybe old, but spiritually like a young boy who are curious about something new.
Yana has made significant contributions to science throughout his career and has brought much pride to our state and university.
Still to this day, we feel so blessed and want to thank Dr. Yanagimachi from the bottom of our heart for these blessings that we would have never had. So thank you and happy birthday.
Congratulations, Yana, well done. Maybe I can reach it myself one day.
And on behalf of all of those people, I wish you a wonderful 90th birthday. We hope you enjoy the celebration that we've brought to you, which in your desire will be in science more than anything else. So we have a whole day of science planned for you to celebrate your 90th birthday, which we know is what you love most in life. So happy birthday, Yana, and thank you again for the inspiration that your life has been to all of us.